Let's talk protein today. Another macronutrient other than carbohydrate and fat. So protein, we can get our protein from many sources out there. So these are some of the examples that we're going to talk about today. After we consume protein, it can help us to actually build our hormones and immune system. It also helps us in our skeletal and connective tissue. We can use the protein for build and repair. Essential and non-essential amino acid. The word itself, I suggest that essential is something that we need to get it from our food. We can't produce on our own by our body. So it's good to have a diverse protein source instead of just sticking to just one or two. Hand portion sizes. There are some different type of hand measuring guidelines. Like the one that I recommend is a PN hand portion guideline, which uses about a palm size of protein, right? And then there are some to use the full hand portion size for your protein intake. Okay, we can debate a little bit about that, but I think the major takeaway here is that as long as you keep it consistent, if you keep the measuring, the form of the guide, the measuring portion consistent, it will be fine eventually because you will know what to adjust from there. For an average person, we're talking about just a palm size, right? It's about 85 to 125 grams. That will give you about 20-30 grams of protein. Of course, if you're a larger person, your palms will be bigger, so just eat according to your palm. So there are many protein sources out there. What I encourage, right, is to stick to food that are less processed. It stays in its original form as much as possible. Some example is the eggs over here. Okay, the egg yolk is fine because it's not like the industrial process kind of fats that's in the egg. It's naturally occurring in the protein. Okay, so it's actually encouraged to consume them. Another one here is that I have this Pacific cod, and this is a fish that contains a lot of omega-3, so it can help in reducing inflammation. And of course, these are some of the essential fat, right, that we cannot get from our system, or we produce very little. And I have salmon. Okay, so all these are air fried, so you can see that there's least processing. And we have a chicken breast over here. So as you can see from the video, this four is in its most least processed state. So stick to the leaner cuts. Doesn't mean that you cannot have the fattier cuts, or you can't have things like a protein bar, or maybe some form of like liquid protein like this. You can, but just keep them sparingly. So out of the majority of the protein choices, right, these should make up the bulk of the protein, not supplements, powder, or drinks. Okay, so this is the one that is more encouraged. You can have a little bit of moderate this type of protein source. This is whey protein powder. Okay, you cannot compare to the chicken breast because this once you mix it with water, right, it just goes down really fast. It has its place and time for this, like usually pre-workout or post-workout. Like you want to go for training and you can't eat like, I don't know, 2 servings of protein because it will be very full and you can't train. So this will be ideal for pre-workout and if you need the nutrients fast in your system and require very minimum of breaking down, whey protein powder is a good source to have. What we have here is soybean milk. Soy is also a good source of protein. It's probably one of the exception one that has 9 essential amino acid. As you can see from nutrition labels over here, soy is a good source. And then the last one are the ones that is very processed, and I have a protein bar over here. This type of protein, right, is probably created more for convenience. Like you can grab it on the go, you can store it, in the shelf for long term, without it going bad. The reason is because it contains a lot of industrial oils, right? There are better protein bars out there, of course, it's debatable, but this one I'll recommend eating them only when you need to. Okay, if you can, just stick to more wholesome food like this. Now let's start with more of the wholesome food first. The food that I encourage more than those processed food out there. So these are some of the protein sources that are good. Okay, basically contain macronutrients as well, and you got a good source of protein. Most probably they have all the amino acid in them, so it can help you to actually complete your protein profile. There are some different way of measuring out there. Some people actually, let's take a look at this two fish over here. This is salmon, this is Pacific cod. Pacific cod generally are lower in calorie compared to salmon because salmon has a higher fat content. But nonetheless, we're not comparing that. We're just going to talk about the hand portion size. Using the palm size for protein intake. Some recommend that they actually, for fish, you can use your whole palm like this, including the fingers. Okay? So if we look at Pacific cod, right? This is about a size of serving if I were to use that guideline. Okay? This is also about a full palm size if I were to use that guideline. Okay, like I say, it doesn't matter as long as you keep it consistent. Okay, this is for me. If I can finish this, good. If you're a smaller individual, you can't finish this, it's fine. Then you know what, just stick to the 1 palm size. And also take note that sometimes the thickness, if you can look at thickness through at this angle, right, it's quite thick, and compared to this, right? So the thickness is also equivalent to more calories. So just have to bear in mind. When we talk about one palm size, right? Usually it's about this thickness. Okay, it's about this thickness. Anything more than that, right, you have to probably just use your eyes to just estimate the amount. Okay. For chicken breast, if you look at the palm size, it doesn't really fit my whole palm actually. It doesn't include the fingers. But if you were to just cut this, in pieces, it's probably going to fit into about my palm size over here. So this is about a portion for me. This is about 20 to 30 grams. Okay, so every time when you consume your protein, if this is about this size, visually you can actually tell. If you do it more often, you can roughly know this is about maybe 22 to 25 grams of protein. Okay, and last one we'll talk about is the eggs. Eggs, usually you just go for 2, as long as I can fit 2 eggs here, fine. So for small individual, let's say for a lady, then maybe they can just stick to 1 or maybe 1.5 like this. Okay, yeah, depend on how you, as long as you keep it consistent. Okay, if you really like eggs, then go for 2. Another 2 example. I picked this one is because it has no sugar added. So basically, why is it on the protein list is because, right, soy protein, right, probably the only plant protein that has 9 essential amino acid. Okay, so you can complete your protein profile. Look at the serving size over here, and then based on this serving size, right, it's 250 ml. Okay, it gives you 10 grams of protein, 4.5 grams of fat, 3 grams of carbohydrate. Okay, so predominantly it's protein, so we can actually label this thing under protein. But if you get the version that has the one with a higher carbohydrate content, then bear in mind that you're also including that as well. Okay, so usually I like to actually add this. If you like something sweet, then maybe you can go for some sweetener to actually sweeten your beverage. I carry it back to 0, so because we're going to include the weight of the cup, I try to get 250 ml, 40. Okay, a little bit overshot, but it's about 250. Now you take this, right? You put this away. This is roughly 250 ml. So next time when you do take this beverage, you just have to roughly pour until this amount, okay, to know that you are at about 250. Plus or minus is okay. Whey protein is a good source of protein because it's really convenient. It has all the 9 essential amino acids, and you don't have to chow down this before a workout, right? So this is really good to have before and post or any time of the day. But this shouldn't be the bulk of the protein. Okay, your protein should still come from minimally processed food, like what I showed you earlier. This is a piece of chicken breast. This is 100 calories worth of chicken breast. This is just air fried, so I didn't add any sauce or oil or any dressing. This is about this thickness, okay, and this portion. This is 50 grams. Compared to just now earlier where we used a palm, right, it was much larger. The next one, this is salmon, okay? This is salmon about this thickness, right? This is 50 grams of salmon and it worth 100 calories as well. When we look at salmon, if you were to use a full palm size, right, you're going to consume pretty much maybe close to 400, right? Close to 400 calories, if you use a whole palm size. But if you are into calorie counting, then you have to be aware that the palm portion might not be ideal. It's good to measure it out first and then have the portion size made for you. Then next time you just repeat that same size, serving size will do. Okay, based on if you want to use a whole palm like this, or you want to use this, or maybe slightly small. So we're going to bring up eggs. So this will be about 78 grams of egg with the yolk. This will give you 100 calories. And the next one will be our Pacific cod. Okay, it's about a full palm size. The fat content actually is much lower as compared to salmon. So this will be a great food, if you want to switch to a lower fat alternative. Example, you're switching from salmon, or you're switching from some red meat. You can actually try Pacific cod. So this is about 120 grams worth of codfish. Okay, and by the way, codfish, there are many different kinds. This one is the one that is low in fat, is Pacific cod. There's another version of codfish, right, which is very fatty. Okay, I can't remember the name, but yeah, do check online just to make sure that you get the correct codfish. Okay. Final one is our egg whites. So these are the one without the yolks. Yeah. Now you understand why bodybuilders go for egg whites, right? You're gonna stay on a low-fat diet. Egg whites is a go-to because it is high in volume, as you can see. This is 200 grams and it is only 100 calories. Okay? If you compare to the egg with the yolk, if you compare to salmon, okay, imagine this in your stomach and this one will probably make you feel fuller longer compared to the chicken. Okay, codfish, it probably, it's just 80 grams lighter, but it is still pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty filling as well. Okay, but it's debatable because sometimes, right, some individual, because of the fat content in food like salmon or eggs or other cuts like meat and stuff like that, sometimes this will keep some individual full compared to this one, because there's basically zero fat in this. Okay, or just traces of fat. So in terms of volume, in terms of calorie wise, 100 grams of 100 calories. Look at the volume. Okay, of course this still is better. The one with higher fat will be smaller because they have a higher fat content, and then chicken will be right in the middle like this. Okay, so again, right, eat a variety. Okay, eat a variety. Someday you can switch salmon, someday you can switch eggs with yolk, without yolk. Sometimes you can switch to egg whites and then codfish. Again, have a diverse protein sources. Next one, just check the nutrition label on this. This is the protein powder that I bought. This is 100 calories. It's 99, but it's about 100 calories. So it's about 25 grams of whey protein. Soy milk, it's about 100 calories as well. It's a 93 cal, for 250 ml. Yeah. So sometimes, liquid like this, compared to, let's say, if you just switch this out to the normal one, which is higher in sugar content, these calories might double up because of the carbohydrate content in the soy milk. So this is about 100 calories as well. This is about 100 calories as well. Okay, so these are two food that eat moderately. You can have them in your diet at specific time to help you to achieve fitness goal, but this shouldn't be dominating your protein source. The last one is the only protein bar I have at home. And then look at the calories. It's 310. 100 calories from fat. Just 100 calories from fat only. The rest, right, is from carbohydrate and protein. So the total is 310. So example, if you use this protein bar and let's compare to the egg, I can have 3 servings of this, right? To reach 300 calories. Of course, this has carbohydrate and fat content, but calorie wise, okay, this has much volume. Another thing about such protein bars is that they are actually very highly palatable. They are very tasty. This is one of the things, if you consume food that are least processed, right, the craving will be much lesser compared to food that are made to just make you want to crave for more. Yeah. So have this, like occasionally, and then stick to more of the wholesome food. So use it to your best knowledge, and some guide is better than no guide. So just do it consistently and then just adjust from there. Thank you.